I have a question for you. Now, I have tried yoga once or twice, right? It was quite a while ago. I had back problems, and I thought maybe it could help me, feel better. But when I came into this class, I felt so uncomfortable because they were all like doing those things, and it was like, oh my God. First of all, there was this group, and I felt in a way completely out of place because I've never done that before. And I had this pressure of I had to perform, and I felt embarrassed. So as a result, I've never done it again.
Okay.
So do you have some kind of a recipe for people like me? Because I can imagine I'm not the only one,
Yeah.
right? You kind of know you have to do something about your health, and you sort of want to try it, but then it's like, oh my God, there's all these people that look at me and I feel uncomfortable. How do you deal with that?
Yeah. Great question.
Yeah.
Glad you asked. So, yeah, it's really tricky because, people do hear about yoga and they hear about how it's, really good for you from their doctor or from
Right.
physiotherapist, that type of thing, or they just, see articles in the paper, drive past a yoga studio, whatever. And so taking that first step can be really challenging for people because it's taking them out of their comfort zone, for instance. So if you're already kind of fit and healthy and you're used to maybe going to the gym or that type of thing, that probably might not be a problem for you. But for someone perhaps who doesn't think they're very fit or has a problem, like a physical problem, and doesn't necessarily feel confident, that can be quite confronting to go into a class where they know that other people already know what they're doing. Yeah. So I guess the good thing about the yoga I do is we actually start most classes lying down on our backs, so you can't actually see anyone or see what anyone else is doing in the class. So it puts you entirely in your own little space. So that's, I guess, in a way good, because if you can't see what everyone else is doing, then you can't really judge yourself against them.
Yeah.
So I really so when I do have new people, I generally we start the class lying down most of the time, but we lie down on our backs so we can't see anyone, and it's like, okay, and then I just make sure I place myself in a position so that new person, they can see perhaps me demonstrating, or I make my instructions really clear so that it's okay if they don't know what they're doing. And there might be some physical touch, for instance, we might be doing something and it's like, okay, you need to put your awareness there, so I might touch them, say on their feet or something if we're doing something with the feet, or if their arms above the head, I might be, getting them to stretch their arms. And there's some people that can't actually stretch their arms above the head, so I'll give alternatives.
Okay.
So it's about, seeing where people are comfortable at with themselves and then offering alternatives as well to that. So I think that's for me, I think that's a really good way to get people comfortable with coming to a yoga class, is so that they can't see other people at the start until we sort of, we might warm up and do some other stuff, and then we might sit up or we might flip onto the belly. Not flip onto the belly, we might move and come onto the belly, or, do a standing pose at the end or something. So, but yeah, I think as a teacher, I'd like to sort of gauge people's comfort levels at the start. And I think if people are interested in coming to a yoga class, send a message or just ring me up and have a little chat if you're a bit apprehensive about something. Because if you just come in, you're like, I think, I don't know, like, I'm the kind of person that just does things, but obviously people need to build up. To actually walk through the door, there might be a few steps in the process to get there to come to a class.
Right.
So, obviously connecting with the teacher or the person at the yoga studio that you're going to go to, having a chat, seeing if you can sort of have an easy conversation with the teacher, feel comfortable with that first, and then, come into the class and just... The important thing is also not to judge yourself.
Yeah.
To really just give yourself a break, Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Comparison to others is, we all know that's not a good thing to do, to compare ourselves, because we always find that we're never meeting expectations.
That's right. Would you like recommend like private sessions as well?
I personally don't do private sessions, but if that's something that someone, yeah, I mean, if you found that you wanted to do a private yoga session to get yourself prepared to come to a group class, and yeah, do that. There's lots of teachers that will do private sessions. I'm currently not one of those.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That answers my question. Okay.
Yeah. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries.